Knew it was gonna be something crazy to make me come online. I haven't been online in a while. I knew something was gonna happen eventually that where I was gonna be almost forced to do something online. So here's the deal. Now, I've already kind of typed it out. Y'all can read my message, my post, my responses. Some of y'all have already responded back. But but this is the reason why we're looked at as crazy most of the time as fans overall. Not everybody, but most. Because of little stuff like this. If you've been watching football at all, you know Cam is not a quality quarterback. He hasn't been for a while. That's the reason he's not in Carolina. That's the reason he's not a Patriot anymore. Like, did you see what he did last year in Patriot Town? Did you watch any games? If you didn't watch any games, did you Google and actually see what his numbers were per game? The games he was healthy in and playing? Did anybody? But there's people clamoring, "Oh, we gotta replace Matt. Gotta replace him now. Here's your chance to do it." This guy has not been doing anything for like 5 years. He had his MVP season, and then I think they went 11-5, and after that, Panthers haven't done anything. And that's when he's on the field. And then he goes to New England, and now he just got cut by a team. And I didn't even bother to go look and see if they're carrying three quarterbacks or not. But he just got cut based off of a rookie who hasn't played an NFL snap yet. Whoever they chose to back him up. And you mean to tell me Cam Newton couldn't beat out those two guys? And if anything, he couldn't be the number two there, but y'all want him here to start for Matt Ryan. Has anybody actually looked and seen what Cam has done the last 5 years? QBR, completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, anything? I guess not. Which means the only reason you want him is the reason. And we all know what that reason is. And it's sad. But again, people are going to go down to their death in their graves, rolling in their graves per se, because all they want is that guy who looks like Michael Vick. And that's just sad. It's just sad. It's sad. It's sad. But I decided to come on here as bad as I'm feeling today. Got up out the bed and said, this is the reason I had to get online. I ain't been online in forever. Hadn't done a video. I don't even remember now. I usually, especially with everything going on, training camp and stuff, I missed out on everything. But today was the day. Dragged me out of bed because Patriots were smart enough to say, you know what, let's stop wasting time. We're not going to pay this guy. And you got a whole crowd. I saw 92.9 post something, which is just, I just rolled my eyes at that. Y'all want to not have the it's almost, it's so ridiculous now. Y'all don't want the Hall of Famer. Y'all want this guy who hadn't done nothing in years now. Years, multiple years now. Hasn't been a primary reason for his team to be successful at all. And hadn't been the primary reason why, if other persons on the team did their jobs, they'd be a little bit better at least. But he is the primary reason why they were bad. Duh. But y'all want that guy here to just mess everything up. That's just crazy talk. But hey, it ain't gonna happen, so I ain't really worried about it. But it's just the clamor for it. It's just the The energy of it. It's just wrong. It's wrong in so many ways. You got a Super Bowl winning coach that basically has said, this guy is not good enough to be the guy who's never played in the NFL before, and whatever person we ain't never heard of is backing that guy up. We know Mac Jones is the number one. Again, I didn't even bother to go look. I could go look real quick and come back real quick and be like, hey, who's their number two, and see if they got number three. I mean, at the very least, you'd think he'd be good enough to be their number three quarterback. But no! It just said, it's cut day. Let's go ahead. And the only reason is because of his skin color. Again, the foolery is amazing to me. You can't have it both ways. You can't have your narrative and just keep changing it back and forth. Again, and I'm trying to. I posted something the other day on the Atlanta Bird Game page. I'm gonna see if I can take some time and actually write it in the article form and repost it. Okay, but at a certain point, and okay, now I'm about to have to get back into bed soon. At a certain point, if you can't realize that statistics are part of the game, statistics are going to show your personal success as a player in the league at your position, right? And based off of that, your team is going to win a certain amount of games because you're participatory. However, it's a team sport, and you still have to have your special teams, your defense, and the coaches, and the general manager, and the owner to do their jobs too. It can't be just based off of one person, because otherwise, Brett Favre would have 15 Super Bowls. Jim Kelly would have 4 straight Super Bowl victories. Remember the Buffalo Bills' first Super Bowl before the next 3 that they got blown out? If that field goal kicker had hit that field goal, I truly believe the Buffalo Bills would have won 4 Super Bowls in a row. But you know what? What meant to happen? That junk went right white, and they didn't win not now Super Bowl. They got the 4 straight, though. They're 4-time AFC champions. Dominated the AFC. Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith. He was a running back. Thurman Thomas. Some pretty good players there. They lost 4 straight Super Bowls, and after the first Super Bowl, they weren't even close. You can't keep throwing that narrative up there and not qualify it for everybody else. I'm not hearing how bad Marino was. I don't hear that. Boomer Esiason, Warren Moon. Warren Moon's one of the best of all time. There has to be others. Barry Sanders. How come Barry Sanders don't have a whole bunch of playoff appearances? Huh? Megatron. Huh? Detroit ain't even made a Super Bowl yet. The Browns have still not made a Super Bowl yet. Baker is the first Browns quarterback to start 3 straight opening games in 3 straight years since Bernie freaking Kosar. You know how long ago that was? The Browns have lost their team and got a team back, still ain't made the Super Bowl. And like I said in my post, people still go to those Browns games. If COVID don't stop people from going to the games, you got the dog pound there, woo, 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 all day long, all dressed up and everything. Because they believe their Browns are good. And one day they're going to win a Super Bowl. One day it's going to happen. Just like I said 2-3 years ago when I wrote a full article about it, the New Orleans Saints almost took 20 years for them to get to 500, much less get to a playoff game. They had no chance in the world to ever win a Super Bowl. And then one year it all came together and they won the Super Bowl. And they ain't never been back since, but they got the one. As bad as they were, where fans were going to the games with trash bags over their faces to hide their identities, but they're still there rooting for their team. They just don't want to be identified by anybody. That's where the Aints came in. Stinky town. Shout out to Louisiana right now. There's a lot of bad stuff happening over there, by the way. If anybody's seen the flooding, there's like a whole city that ain't even there no more. I don't even know how they're going to play football this year. They're going to have to play football somewhere else. But they're going to play, though, because that's what you do. At a certain point, if you can't see the forest for the trees, you could just pick another team. And I don't understand why people won't do that. You're willing to live in misery for 12, 13 years, however long Matt's been here, since 2008. At the moment he got drafted, you should have quit while you were ahead and went and found you another team. Who was the black quarterbacks in 2008? I don't know, but you should have went and found them. Because again, Arthur Blank wasn't breaking Michael Vick out of jail, and Michael Vick was not coming back to the Falcons. It wasn't happening. And at the very least, you should have went and been a Philadelphia Eagle fan or a Pittsburgh Steelers fan when Vic went to those teams. Why didn't you just go do that? Because I saw that he won plenty of Super Bowls with those other two teams. Right? Didn't he? Right? Without stats, you don't have the game. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones right up there in the top of league history in regards to statistics. Somebody was throwing Julio the ball and Julio caught the ball. Amazing. How did he get all those yards? It's amazing. You got to get open. You got to catch the ball. Somebody got to throw the ball to you. It's amazing. I don't know how that works though. Here in Atlanta, that doesn't work. The ball just mysteriously just pops out of the ground. And someone catches it. I don't know how Ridley had such a good year last year. Not sure how that happened. Somebody else must have been throwing him the ball too, huh? Gage, Z. Anyway, it's embarrassing. And the foolery needs to stop. That's just basically it. You just got to stop it. Cam has not been a quality quarterback for a long time, really. Because the main thing about a quarterback is you got to be able to throw the ball to somebody where they can catch it. And Matt Ryan is a pretty good player when it comes to that. Numbers don't lie. It don't lie with Cam either. There's a reason why he's about to be, if somebody picks him up, he's about to be on his third team in 2.5 years when he's healthy. There's a reason for it. He ain't that good a quarterback. He's never really been that good of a quarterback. That's just the facts. All that running ain't really did him a whole heck of a lot of good. Has it? Hasn't for RG3 and all them other guys who supposedly are running quarterbacks. They don't have a lot of winning behind them. Heck, Deshaun Watson had a pretty good year last year. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, don't apply to him either, though, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to bed. I just get upset these times where, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. What you say, Eddie? How are you gonna ask a fool not? Well, I mean, you know. What's up, Bobby D? What's up, Edwin? Like I said, I'm gonna try to retype the post I did the other day. I'm gonna try to put it into an article form. I haven't written an article in a long time. I was in the bed when I typed that particular post that I did 2 days ago, kind of about this. I didn't know Cam was going to get released when I typed it, but I'm gonna try to redo it and I'm gonna post it again. But The foolery really got to stop because it's a bad look. We got a new coach, new scheme, new team, new everything, and nobody wants to be hopeful. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to look at it from the standpoint of you knew the Falcons hadn't won a Super Bowl yet when you became a fan. You know there's a possibility the Falcons may never win a Super Bowl. So if you're not really able to live with that, you shouldn't be a sports fan of any kind. Don't call yourself a fan. Just say that you casually like to watch the football game when it happens to be on and you're able to watch it. But don't call yourself a fan. You shouldn't be buying the hats. You shouldn't be buying jerseys. That's too much money. You shouldn't be going to no Falcons games for sure. That's too much money. The traffic is terrible, right? That's a lot of waste of time and money and energy for 13 years, 20 years, 25 years when you don't have no hope and all you can do is complain. Again, there's nothing wrong with being critical about your team, but criticism and hate are two different doggone things. They just are. And 98%, there's only 2% of the fans that really like enjoy watching the games and rooting for the teams. The other 98% hate one player. And they've been living in misery since 2008. Prior to 2008, we had not even had a back-to-back winning season. I've said this like for years now, over and over. Well, not over and over again, but every now and again I'll come out. I have articles. I'll pull them up. Of course, I talk about it on my radio show. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. You know this. And again, I've given Michael Vick the credit of winning the game in Green Bay. Although he didn't win the game in Green Bay. He went from 11 for 17, had a touchdown and interception. I think he had 64 yards rushing. But he was the quarterback of record. The narrative. But other than that, did he win all the time that he was here? No. He didn't. How many games did he miss being banged up, nicked up, hurt? What? All the aspects of your team have to work to win. Aaron went 13-3 back-to-back seasons. How come he wasn't in the Super Bowl? Anybody? He's the best quarterback of all time, supposedly. How come he's not in the Super Bowl regularly? He has a good team. No one can ever go back to that. Why would you want to put Aaron on this team to supposedly say that he's going to make them better when he already has a good team? He's 13-3 back-to-back seasons. He can't get to the Super Bowl? What are you talking about? The NFC ain't that strong, is it? No, it's not. Give me a break. He ain't been for 11 years now since he won his. He ain't been back once. Something wrong with that. Russell Wilson, how come he ain't been back? He's running around, doing his thing, running around. How come he ain't been back? Come on, guys. You see what happened to Drew Brees? Drew Brees ain't been back since he won his. Everybody gets a chance. Sometimes they get multiple chances. Sometimes they get one chance. Sometimes they get no chances. Our franchise has been in 2 Super Bowls and 4 NFC championships, I believe, right? That's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of other franchises wish they could say they've appeared in 2 Super Bowls and 4 NFC championships. They wish they could say that. Oh, well, Chris, you're settling again. No, I can't settle because I'm a fan. I'm rooting for my team because it's my team. I don't have no money control. I don't have no personnel control. Those are the only people who can settle. Arthur Blank, the general manager, are the only ones who can settle because they control the money and they control personnel. So if they want to keep Tack, they want to keep Vic Beasley, they want to keep Duke Riley, guess what? I can't do nothing about that. All I could do is say, well, I hope they're right. But once those players prove that they can't play, guess what? Yeah, Vic Beasley is a bum. He got to go, right? But I give everybody their chance to prove themselves, but once they prove they can't play, they can't play. And at that point, yeah, something got to be done. But I'm still rooting for my team to win. They let that team go 0-5. Blank could have made the decision if the former general manager was too scaredy cat to say, hey, we let you stay here after going 7-9 back-to-back seasons. All right, but you can't do this next year. Went 0-1. What was it? Philadelphia, I believe. Okay, I shrugged that one off. I said, we can't go 0-2, though. We went 0-2. I was like, okay, what are we waiting for now? Then we went 0-3. Y'all remember? In the craziest games of all. Y'all remember that Dallas game? I still have nightmares. I'm sitting on my chair. I'm telling my friend she was here. I was trying to teach her football. She had never watched football for real. I'm trying to explain to her how football works. And that onside kick, I still can. That ball just spinning. There's all the players. It's like the Spider-Man meme. You pointing. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. 0-4. 0-5. Y'all know if we had just went 2-3, we probably would have went to the playoffs that season. Anyway, but since all the aspects of the other teams didn't really play all that well, went 4-12, and we were in all those games. We lost games by what, 7 points or less? Most of those games, but nobody talks about that because the narrative doesn't fit that. Though. What's up, Ron? What's up, Elton? But anyway, who's this? Bray Favre. So again, there's too many quarterbacks out there over the years, Randall freaking Cunningham. How come he don't got multiple rings? He's one of the best of running of all time, right? He don't have no rings though. But Flacco does though. Huh. Right? Trent Dilfer. Huh. Really? You see how that works? They're the quarterback of record. One day you're going to learn. But stats are a method of gauging things, but they're not the only thing. There's a whole lot of other stuff around that has to happen. What are the 5 things? Again, what are the 5 things I've said forever that makes your franchise successful? You have to have an owner that wants to win and does what's necessary to win. You have to have a general manager that makes wise decisions over a long period of time, not just one and done. You have to have a good to great coach. You have to have good to great players, and you have to be healthy. In the last 25 years, how many of those things have the Falcons had? We've had a great owner, for sure. We already know about the general manager part. We know we haven't had a coach. We've had some good to great players, and we ain't been healthy. So you compare those things to a whole bunch of other teams, and you look at their Super Bowl records. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Year after year after year, they're able to be competitive all the time. Why? Because they're going to do it the way you should be doing it. You build in from out. You be consistent. You make people accountable. Because you can't play if you can't play. Why are you on the field, sir? You don't want to tackle. You don't want to block. What are you talking about? But other teams, you just do what you want, Vic Beasley. You don't really care about playing. It don't matter. You just want to be on Twitter all day and just talk smack all day. That don't matter. We're good. Duke Riley, I don't know what you're doing on the field. You're ghosting all the time. You don't have nothing on the stat sheet when we get to the end of the game. That's all right, though. We're going to keep putting you in the game, too. What? Really? That's how you do it? Your coach. I don't know how to scheme. I don't know how to adjust. I don't know how to adjust in the middle of the game. I don't know how to adjust after halftime, but since I still got this job, I'm going to keep doing it how I'm doing it because I still believe I'm in Seattle for all these years. Even though I know I got different personnel, I'm still coach like I'm coaching the Seattle Seahawks, though. That's how I'm going to keep doing it. That's what we've had to put up with. But nobody wants to say that. All they want to say is, hey, our quarterback ain't black. We in Atlanta, so we have to have a black quarterback. Ooh, boy. And then Chris Collinsworth says, man, Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl because of their defense. The defense won the Super Bowl for him last year. That just skipped over everybody's heads. I posted it, though. As soon as he said it, I posted it. Chris Carlos was about to get fired by NBC with him talking about how Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl because of defense. Defense wins championships, though, don't it? What did they do? They stopped one of the most potent offenses of all time. The defense did that. Because that would have been a completely different story if the offense was actually able to do something. Because then you really think Tom would beat out the shootout with $1 billion man? I don't think so. We'll see, though. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. I'm feeling bad. I'm about to lay back down. But for real, let's stop the foolery. Let's root for this team. If you don't want to root for the team, just go ahead and be honest. Say it with your chest and say you want to be a Tampa Bay fan. They have a Super Bowl. If the only criteria you have to root for a team is that they have a Super Bowl, you can't be a Falcons fan. You can't, and you shouldn't be. You can't, and you shouldn't be. Whenever you became a Falcons fan, 1980, 1972, 2004, whenever it was, you knew at that point, depending on how old you were, you knew they hadn't even been to a Super Bowl yet. Right? If it was before 98, they hadn't been to a Super Bowl. The words Falcons and Super Bowl was not synonymous until after 2008. Before then, after 2008, though, hey, guess what? The word contender is out there all of a sudden. That wasn't before then. How come Michael Vick didn't make us a contender? How come Chris Chandler, after that one Super Bowl, how come we weren't a contender year after year? How come Chris Miller, after the 91 season, didn't make us a contender year after year? How come Bobby Hebert or Joey Harrington I don't understand. Anyway, doggone Bobby Pacino. If I ever see him in the streets, I'm going to slap him. But anyway, for real, you knew that the Falcons hadn't been to the Super Bowl. So if your only criteria to follow a team is that they've won a Super Bowl, you shouldn't be a Falcons fan. Eventually, just give up and become an Arizona Cardinal fan. Russell Wilson is still playing. Be a Seattle Seahawks fan. Right? The New York Giants. Eli Manning is a bum outside the 2 Super Bowl wins he has. And he played very, very well in those 2 Super Bowls. I can't pull that. But the rest of his career, he's a bum. Record speaks for itself. Not even competitive. And it ain't even close. Golly, come on. But be a Giants fan. They have some Super Bowl victories. Be a Frisco fan. They got some Super Bowls, right? Be an Indianapolis Colts fan. They have 1. Well, they got 2, I guess, right? Well, no, that's the Jets I'm thinking of. Be a Jets fan. They got 1 from back in the day. Was it Joe Namath? Joe Cool? Be a Jets fan. They got a good team coming up right now. Got a new quarterback. They're rookie. But you can't be a Falcons fan and to continue to bump your head against the wall being miserable because they don't have a black quarterback. That's just stupid now. You really are wasting time and money if you've been paying money for tickets, money on food for tailgating, buying the hats and the jerseys. Why are you doing it? That right there is just confusing to me. It's been confusing to me since 2008, because every single year you're complaining, no matter how good the team is, or no matter how it doesn't matter to you. You're going to complain and be miserable and cry because all you think of is how come Arthur Blank didn't break Michael Vick out of jail? How come he didn't bribe the judge? That's all I saw year after year after year. And I'm like, why didn't you just become a Philadelphia Eagles fan the moment the Eagles signed him? That should have been, you should have been done. Hey, I'm going to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan because Michael Vick, the guy I want, the man I want to follow is on that team now. But you didn't do that though. You're doing like this. And that's just crazy. You can't be a fan of 15 teams. What's up, Jonathan? You can't be a fan of 15 teams. Again, and the reason I did the other article is that I did a whole article about that. You can't be a fan of all 15 different teams. You're going to be a Hawks fan. You're going to be a Falcons fan. You're going to be an Atlanta United fan. You're going to be an Atlanta Dream fan. You're going to be an Atlanta Braves fan. You can't be an Atlanta Braves fan and a New York Yankee fan. What? Who does that? You can't be a Falcons fan and be a Tampa Bay fan. You can't be a Hawks fan and a New York Knicks fan. You can't do that. I mean, I guess you can, but you shouldn't, because it makes you look silly. The whole point of being a sports fan, fanatical about your team, is that you're rooting for that team, thick or thin, win or lose. It can't just be when they're winning. There's no point to that. You're just a casual fan. You're just looking at the box score and seeing if the team won or lost. And if you lose, oh, well, they were sorry anyway. It just makes no sense. You don't want to see the team try to do better. You don't want to see the team go through the growth of what's supposed to happen. You don't want to stick around as a team retools itself. You just want the 60-win season, but you don't want anything bad that happens after that. You can't have it that way. That's not being a fan. Don't put yourself in that position if you can't handle it. You see what I'm saying? That's just crazy. You didn't mind Sheldon Williams getting drafted. You didn't mind us paying Speedy Claxton under the table for 50 years, because we're still paying him even though he never played. Priest Lauderdale, Adam Keefe. We didn't care about all that. You're either going to be a fan or not. There is a difference. There's a difference between being critical and hating your team. Hating the team. I keep saying hating your team. That's not your team. If you just hate it, just go to another team. It's easy. It's just easy. It's easier. When I had John Collins on around the ATL, and I'll probably I haven't posted on the Bird Game page because there's a basketball show in that particular. It was a basketball interview. John Collins was talking about the fans, and they notice it. They notice all those other jerseys in the stands and not being Hawks jerseys. They notice it. They do. They look at that. They pay attention to that because they're playing for y'all. They're putting their hard effort, sacrifices, everything they've done to be in the NBA, and then they get drafted by the team that they got drafted for, and they're trying to win a championship for that team that they got drafted for. When did you ever hear Al Horford or Jeff Teague talk about winning a championship? Flex Game never did. But you got Trae Young after he got drafted talking about he wants to win a ring in Atlanta. When John Collins was on my radio show, he said, I want to be an MVP. I want to win a ring in Atlanta. And that was last summer. They almost did it this year, didn't they? But most of y'all don't want that, though, really. You don't. You put it out there all the time. I don't want any of this. I want Bradley Beal, and I want this person. Y'all don't want to see the team do it. You want a facsimile of a team. It don't work like that. Not in real life. In video games, it works like that. Fine, right? But those players, it's messed up. It don't make them feel good. Yeah, they got contracts and all this kind of stuff. But one of the main reasons they're playing is there's an audience out there that's cheering them on through thick and thin. Georgia Dome, Fulton County Stadium, and now Mercedes-Benz. Those players are sacrificing literally their lives. Every play, you never know. And they're doing it because they got this big old stadium full of people that they hope are rooting for them. And most of y'all don't want to do it. Corey, they do give you something to root for. And if you don't believe that, go pick another team where they are giving you something to root for. Because the whole point is that one day they're going to win. And when they do win and they're on Peachtree Street on the parade, you're not going to feel the same way as the rest of us because we were willing to pull for them even though they weren't winning at at that time. Remember, this franchise had not won back-to-back seasons, had not had a winning record back-to-back seasons until 2008. Since 1960s freaking 6 to 2008, the Atlanta Falcons had never had back-to-back winning seasons. So where was everybody then talking about, well, we got to give you something to root for, dog? Then. Because if you couldn't deal with it then, why now? What's the difference? Depending on what year you were born... Because why do all the other fans of all the other franchises that are not giving those fans supposedly something to root for showing up and paying $75 for a ticket? 65,000 strong. And those franchises have never even been to a championship game yet, much less a Super Bowl. There's some teams that have never been to a conference championship game yet still. So why are those fans still showing up? That's what differentiates being a fan and a casual. Oh, I'm only going to really watch when they win. So you just missed out on Trae Young then. Because they weren't winning when Trae Young got drafted. They didn't win that first season. They didn't win the second season. So you were just going to miss out on all that? That's interesting. You see what I'm saying? That's what you look at. Michael Jordan came in the league. That team wasn't winning, so you're just going to not watch no Michael Jordan because the team is trash. That's what you're talking about? You're just not going to watch no Kobe Bryant games because the team ain't winning. His last few years in the NBA, his team wasn't winning. Not going to watch it. They ain't giving me nothing to root for. So Kobe, I can't watch no Kobe Bryant. He's one of the greatest players of all time. I can't watch no Kobe Bryant. Those Knicks fans watching Melo out there, giving his all, not winning, ain't been to the playoffs in 8 years. Those New York fans are paying $5,000 for a ticket. Literally, I ain't going to no Knicks game because, they ain't giving me nothing. No, that's not what they're saying. Spike Lee is at every freaking doggone game no matter what. Because you know why? Because finally, this past season, they made it to the playoffs. They thought they were going to get by us, but that didn't happen. We all know what the results were. But that's why you show up, because one year it might come all together. And you're not going to feel the same way if you're not there when they were not winning. And that's the whole part of being a fan. If you can't be there when they're losing, why do they? And John Collins mentioned that on the show. Like, we don't really, that's the principle of it all. Why would you want to jump on the bandwagon when they're winning when you weren't there when they weren't winning? Everybody doesn't win. That's called competition, right? Why? If you're playing a pickup game of football and basketball, and you're on this team, you got a group of 5 guys playing basketball, you get out there in that first game, you lose. Hey, man, y'all want to run it back? Because, man, you can beat these guys, man. We just have a bad... Hey, it was the first game, man. You don't just want to just be like, oh, well, I'm on the bench. I'm waiting to see who the team is the best out here. I'm going to see if I can get on that. No, that's not how it works. You stick with it, and then you play until you win. Because you got something to prove, right? But again, and I think Chauncey mentioned this the other day, half of people never played no sports up at all. Never played nothing. High school, professional, in the middle, college, rec league, semi-pro, anything. You never have played anything competitive in your life. That's the only reason why people would say crazy stuff about that. Oh, you got to give me something to root for. No! You're playing, and I got this sounder. I ain't had a show in a while. You play to win the game. But you might not win. And you go out and play. If it was just that, everybody should just forfeit the rest of the season when they lose the first time. It's an 82-game schedule. We lost the first game. We don't even need to play the rest of the season. We're trash. Those other 81 games, we don't even need to play no more. We got a 17-game football schedule this year. We lose the first game against... How are we playing Philly again, game opener? I don't understand that. But anyway, we lose that game. Just forfeit the rest of the 16 games because we don't got a chance. That's not how it works. You play the games in front of you, and you play to win. You may win, you may lose. That's part of it. It's life. Nothing is guaranteed. You're out there and hoping that the general manager picked good people, signed good people in free agency. You're hoping your whole coaching staff does their individual jobs cumulatively to make the team better, and you hope that all the players have taken themselves seriously as possible to make sure that they're trained up, they got their bodies right, they're studying their playbooks, and in camp, or not camp, but in practice every week, they're out there getting their reps, they're paying attention, they're studying film, and every Sunday they're going to get out there and get after it, or Thursday night or Saturday night, whenever they play NFL now. They play every day now. That's how that works. You play, and you win, and you lose, and at the end of the season, you see if you won enough games to qualify for the playoffs, and then you go from there. That's the goal. And if you don't want to do that, you shouldn't be playing. And if you don't want to watch that, don't call yourself a fan. Just call yourself a casual. Don't be watching Bally Sports or listening to 92.9 The Game. Don't do that, because you're just making yourself miserable because you only have one result. And that's not plausible. There's two possible results, not just one. And I don't understand how you formulate in your head to say, well, I'm only going to root for them if they win. But guess what? There's people out here when the Falcons win the Super Bowl, you're still going to be mad. There's going to be people who are going to be mad that the Falcons won the Super Bowl. They're going to be mad that Matt Ryan's going to have 4 touchdowns. You're going to be mad. You're going to be mad that Grady Jarrett or Dante Fowler or whatever, they're going to do something good. You're going to be mad that they did something good. Or you're going to be mad if they did something not so good. Man, Matt had 5 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions, though. He had 500 yards, but he got sacked 3 times. Mike Davis had 200 yards rushing, but he had a fumble. They won the Super Bowl, though. Yeah, they won the Super Bowl. But, Michael Vick could have won the Super Bowl, too. That's what we're going to hear. And that's why we look stupid to everybody out there. Because we keep saying stuff like that. It doesn't make no sense. Anyway, this was a Cam post. The foolery of it all, that this is even a discussion where a team that said you're not better than the rookie and you're not better than the number 2 quarterback, you're cut. And his former team said, you know what? This guy who had a tore up knee, we'll rather have him out there than you. Or whoever it was. I can't remember now. It's been so long. But y'all want him as the number 1. Because that's what I see more than anything. Now, is he better than our current number 2, whoever that is? I would say he has a better pedigree than those guys, but is he a better quarterback? I don't know. Because right now, the Patriots letting him go would tell you no. Because he's not good enough to be their number 2. Behind a rookie. You got a Hall of Famer over here. So, I don't know. And that's when he's healthy. I don't know. Is he? Maybe he's not healthy. I don't know. He says he's healthy, though. But anyway, let's stop the foolery. That's all I'm saying. And if you just don't want, there's a lot of other teams that have, be a Green Bay Packer fan. They got Aaron. He decided to come back. Be a Packer fan. Let's see if they can go 13-3 3 straight years and not get to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Aaron Rodgers has had a 13-3 record the last 2 seasons and didn't make the Super Bowl. There got to be a problem with that. He hasn't been to the Super Bowl since he's won. So why not? His teams have been definitely better overall than what the Falcons have had. And they ain't been to the Super Bowl. Anybody ever question that? And he has all those stats. Golly. Sean Watson had a lot of stats last year. His team went 4-12 too. But anyway, it's all about this, y'all. And if you can't handle it, get out the kitchen. That's all it comes down to. The team could go 0-17. Guess what? Each game they lose and be like, well, I hope they win next week though. And they might not win next week, but I'm hoping that they will. And I'm gonna watch the whole game until the game says 0-0-0-0 to see if they do that. And I'll be critical, but then I'm gonna be like, well, that game is over though. Let's go to the next one. Because I can't change nothing about the team. I have no power. The only power I have is my support. That's it. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't understand that. That's like the other biggest thing. You can't do nothing. That's why I keep saying, as a fan, you can't settle. Because you can't change nothing. The only thing you can change is your affiliation. You can change this and make it a New Orleans Saints sign. You could do that, and then you're off the hook because you're no longer a Falcons fan. But if you choose not to do that, you can only take that so far as being critical to where you just hate the team because you never have anything good to say. Ever. And I mean ever. You just hate everything. You hate everybody and you hate everything Falcons. And you prove it by what you post. That, again, social media has changed things. All I got to do is type up a date. But here, look at all this hate of the Atlanta Falcons. It's hate. It's hate mongering. That's what it is. Players see it. Same thing with the Hawks. Same thing with the Braves. Same thing with all the teams. You just hate it. You just hate everything. You don't care. You don't care when they win. You didn't care when they were winning. They went to the. There's a lot of teams in the NBA that would love to make the playoffs 10 straight years because you know why? There's teams that have missed the playoffs for 10 straight years. Sacramento Kings have missed it 15 straight years. Can you imagine not being in the playoffs for 15 straight freaking years? Also not getting the 500 most of that time as well? Not having a... Sacramento still has fans in the stands, though, for some reason. It ain't like they closed the doors or anything. Still got people showing up. Why? Because one year they're going to be better. They have to believe it. Or change their affiliation and become a fan of another team. How come Sacramento fans ain't Warriors fans? Clippers fans? Lakers fans? They're all in California? California, IA? No, I don't want to be a Golden State Warrior fan. I know they got the championships and Steph Curry and everything. But, we had Petrovic and... Not Petrovic. What's his name? I can't remember the shooting guard. But we had Sewell. We had Vlade. We had Bibby. Right? We had Doug Christie. We had a squad. You see what I'm saying? Sacramento Kings fans. Down for life. I ain't going to be no Laker fan. I don't care about them Lakers. I don't care if they had Shaq and Kobe. We had Sewell. We had our squad, right? That's how you're supposed to be when you're a fan of your team. You care about them other teams. Those other teams ain't you. Every team has a legacy. Some legacies are better than others. Again, the Falcons have a legacy as well. It's not as great as the Frisco 49ers. Dallas Cowboys, no, it's not as great as them. Right? But we still have one. And if you don't want to appreciate that, then are you really a fan? If you don't know the history and don't want the history of the players and the different things that have happened in our history, whether it be the 91 season, the 98 season, Morton Anderson kicking the field goal in Minnesota, like that was a moment. Like where were you when that happened? But if you don't care about that because of what happened the year after 98, or you don't care about the 91 season because of what happened in 92, then are you really a Falcons fan at all? Not really. Because you just don't care. Because you only care when they win. And that's not being a fan. That's just being a casual. That means you don't even really watch. You see what I'm saying? And you don't know context. And I keep saying that context matters. You sporadically watch games. Here and there. Every now and again. When you can. You see what I'm saying? You're just a casual. You're not a fan. All right. I gotta go lay down for real because I'm feeling bad now. I don't know when I'll be on again. I've been gone for a while, I know, but I don't know when I'll be on the air again at this point. But this particular topic made me get out the bed. So, but hopefully everybody appreciated it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to retype that post from the other day. I'm gonna put it in article form and I will repost it. You can go to Amazon Music though and listen to the John Collins interview on Around the ATL. Just type in Around the ATL. I'm trying to remember what episode it is, but my brain ain't working. But just scroll through it, you'll find it. You can listen to that. But for real, we got a week, and then we'll be in the NFL season, and we need to support the team. We need to support the whole team. We need to support the 53-man roster, and we need to give those guys their shot to see what they can do to help this team be victorious on a regular basis again. Again, we have a whole new what they should have did 3 years ago. They did it finally. Okay, and so why can't we give these coaches their opportunity? I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no hope at all. And you never have hope. And that's why I keep saying, why not just go ahead and pick a team? If you never have hope that your team can be successful, what are you wasting time for? Makes no sense. Anyway, let me go. Corey, Brett Favre, Mr. Clark Sr., Eddie, Bobby, Ron, Jonathan, Elton. I think that's everybody. Appreciate checking out, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.